My name is Brambrey. I live at 2944 Sumner Street, Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm here today as a producer in opposition of NAIS. I'm also a member of the Nebraska Environmental Action Coalition. I have 2 chickens in my backyard, and I understand that barely qualifies me as a producer. But it's that very reason that registering those animals with the federal government is appalling. First, registering the premises with the federal government without receiving just compensation constitutes a voluntary surrender of any constitutional rights associated with registered premises. Second, registering the premises without entering into a contract that expressly limits the federal government's authority over the premises may result in subjecting the premises and its registrant to any and all future rules, regulations, and policies that the federal government may later decide to impose on such registrants. Sacrificing my constitutional rights in the name of animal disease prevention when we don't do enough to ensure the quality of food imported is out of the question. To go further, it seems NAIS is put in place as another way for corporate meat packers to profit while small local farmers lose out. Seeing as this policy was developed by people sitting in offices who have no real idea about animal husbandry or sustainable farming practices. If we are really concerned about disease outbreak, NAIS is a step in the wrong direction. Relaxed import standards, and since to my knowledge, the USDA does not have a system in place to trace bad meat back to the slaughterhouse where most foodborne illnesses begin, is a real issue here. If we want to be proactive in preventing foodborne illnesses, then let us encourage the USDA to improve or implement a policy tracing the contamination back to the slaughterhouse. If NAIS is the most effective plan the USDA can come up with, then I fear for the integrity of the farming industry in the U.S. as the plan surely discourages small farmers. And I fear for the consumers, which we will continue to have foodborne illnesses, only under this policy we'll be sure they came from another country. Now that's the statement that I prepared. I'd like to add something. In preparing that statement, I was more concerned with registering my home with the federal government. But the guy from Minnesota isn't able to do business with his meat packer unless he joins the NAIS program. Basically, my point is that I hope that his issue has made the impression on you that it's made on me, and NAIS should be absolutely and immediately killed. Thank you very much for your time.
And at this time, I'll open the floor to anyone else who would like to come up and make a comment. Just come on up. Anyone else? I may have called your name already and I may have massacred it, so it didn't come out sounding like what you know yourself to be. Anyone else want to make a comment this morning? All right, we'll begin with you, sir.
Good morning. I'm Hamby from Missouri, and I'm here to speak against the National Animal ID System program. I'm a Missouri coordinator for the Campaign for Liberty, and our organization has actively worked to stop the National Animal ID System because we feel it is a violation of our rights and a violation of the Constitution of the United States. The USDA has a credibility problem. Moving the research facility from offshore to Manhattan, Kansas, and putting live viruses in the heart of cattle country is a credibility issue for the USDA. The USDA has a credibility program. They have gone all over the country for listening sessions. The vast majority are against the National Animal ID System. But have they gone to Michigan? Have they gone to Wisconsin? Have they gone to hear from the producers who actually suffer under a mandatory system while the USDA says it's a voluntary system? The money that funds the system in Wisconsin and Michigan is USDA money. It's your tax dollars paying for the program. It is not voluntary. They never intended it to be voluntary, and it will not be voluntary if it's implemented. Thank you.
My name is Jason Hanson, and I'm from Norfolk. And I guess I just kind of want to touch on some points that were made this morning by some of the people that came up and spoke. I am definitely in opposition of NAIS. I think it should be scrapped. Just to give you a little background about my history, I was born and raised in northeast Nebraska, and I'm not going to ramble on and on, but I've been involved in the livestock market business quite a few years. We owned and operated, my family did, part of the Norfolk livestock market, and recently sold that. And I guess it's good to see Richard Shrunk and Bim Nelson here. I've been on several boards, LMA, within Nebraska. I've worked with Michael Kelsey on NC. And I guess to me, the biggest problem that I see with this program is probably the simple fact that NAIS is a program that encourages more vertical integration. And vertical integration is something that's very scary, and the people that have been in the hog business and the chicken business have felt that the worst and the longest. And the guy from southwest Minnesota, I definitely feel sorry for you, because when you have no one to sell your product to, I mean, that's a scary, scary situation. And I guess probably the biggest thing that we probably need to maybe go back to the basics, and I'll stand up for the auction markets, and I think maybe we should, Bim Nelson, I mean, you can agree with this. We really need to have competition in this country. That's what made this country start. People migrating over here from Europe, you know, and starting their own businesses. And I guess I'd just like to say that I think this is definitely a bad program. I'm very pleased to see the turnout, and I guess that's all I've got. But one thing I want to add is somebody made a comment about the back. I think it's the lady talking about the chickens. The backbone of this country was made up of small producers, and I come from northeast Nebraska, where the average cow size is 50 to 100, probably. And Glenn Beck was on the radio yesterday, and I know, Bim Nelson, you're a huge Glenn Becker, and I am too. But he made the comment yesterday on the radio, and I don't know, did you hear it, Bim? He made the comment that the middle class America is going to be gone. There's going to be no middle class left, and you're going to have poverty,